Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your Thursday evening Facebook Live. My name is Sarah Edwards, and I come to you guys live every Tuesday and Thursday to show you a fun new project. So I do apologize about Tuesday. I had to take tomorrow, Friday, off from work to deal with some medical things for my brother-in-law. So I had to pick up on Tuesday to make up some hours. So I do apologize for not being here on Tuesday. I totally missed you guys. But we are here today, come rain or shine. We just got word that my son-in-law took our daughter to the emergency room because of the baby. So life is just crazy. Like, my whole day is full of emotions, but I am here and I'm ready to show you guys a fun new project. So I am just going to make sure we are live on my iPad, and there we are. I made sure the volume was down earlier, so we should be good there. So good evening. Hopefully everybody is having a good night and a good day. Hello, Heather, Valerie, Stephanie. Hello, ladies. So we actually have a big, huge project. Oops, sorry, I hit my tie, whatever it's called. We have a huge project for tonight. So I probably am not going to chit chat until some of our friends log on. We are probably going to get right to it because I'm going to try to get through. We probably won't make all 8 cards, but I at least want to get through the process of how to make them and how to create them. So we'll see what we can get through. Okay, I'm going to point you down so I can go over a couple things with you. Okay, so this is the stamp set we're going to be playing with. So it's the Delicate Dahlias. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. It is a free set with a $100 order, and you can order anything you want. So I just wanted to show you that in the celebration catalog. And then I wanted to bring in the big catalog because this is a hidden gem in the back. It's on page 126 of our large annual catalog, and it has collections. So it has the brights, the neutrals, the regals, and the settles. It has all of the collections, and you can get all of the re-inkers or all of the stamp pads or all of the markers for that specific, the specific set you want. I primarily do a lot with my brights. So if you don't have any of the ink, I do suggest turning to page 126. You can get them individually on page 122. But if you want the whole kit and caboodle, it's just easier to get the little family bundles. So I wanted to point that out as well. So here is the stamp set in real life. It is actually almost empty. I only have a few stamps in here because we are going to use most of them this evening. So they are all ready to go on my blocks. I did bring in this sentiment, Biggest Wishes. We are using most of the sentiments in this one as well. And I pulled in these little, I don't know, plus signs, little doodads. I don't know what they're called. But I pulled this in to showcase that as well. So the original set that I made, I didn't use those little doodads. And I'm super excited to show you how to use them. So these are the cards. It is using one sheet of 8.5 by 11. And we are going to make 8 cards. So we probably won't get through all of them today, but I'll at least show you how to use, I don't know, that one might be one of my favorite. And I added some of our rhinestones to it as well, just to give it a little bit of pizzazz. But it was super fun and something completely different. And I do apologize because I totally did use 5/8 and 3/8 measurements. But I did that only because, hold on, let me pull the one. Okay, so this guy, if you stamped it like this, it only fit if you did the 5/8 on the back. So I'll explain that a little bit more in detail. But those are the cards we're going to try and get done tonight. I know I don't think we're going to get through all 8, but at least we'll get through a big selection of them. Okay, so I went ahead and folded, our cardstock. It's our normal 4 1/4 by 11, and I scored it at 5.5. I went ahead and scored them all ahead of time just to save a little bit of time. So for the cardstock that I used, I just picked the colors that I should have said that earlier. So the colors that I used on these guys, Pacific Point, Balmy Blue, Gorgeous Grape and Highland Heather, and then the leaves are in Old Olive and Pear Pizzazz. So I wanted to change up the color pattern on these ones. So I decided to use Magenta Madness. Of course, we have to have a pink. Magenta Madness and Blushing Bride. And then I have Bermuda Bay and Coastal Cabana. So you need 4 of these, and they are cut at 4 1/8 by 2 5/8. And I did put all of these measurements in the description as well. And I did the same color scheme for, let me get these in order, for this one as well. And you need 4 of them, and they're 2 1/8 by 5 3/8. So those are the pieces that we're going to need once we get our designer series paper made. So I have a full sheet of 8.5 by 11 basic whites. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with our darkest ink, the Magenta Madness, our darkest pink, I should say. And I'm going to bring in the stamp sets, the stamp that is kind of the outline. So what I did is I lined these guys up, and I found the spot where they are supposed to be perfect, and I took a black marker and I just put a little notch on there so I knew exactly which way these go to be the outside and the inside. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so let's see who logged on. Judy logged on, Barbara logged on. Hello, ladies. Okay, so I'm going to ink up the outline piece, and I'm actually just going to start stamping kind of randomly around my cardstock. I do want to leave a little bit of space in between my big flowers. So I'm actually just going in kind of a line, a diagonal line. And then I'm going to keep inking, and I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to come up here and come off. And I want to leave a tiny bit of space because my original one that I did, I didn't leave enough room, so the leaves kind of hung over and touched, which still wasn't tragic. It's still super cute, but I thought I would show this a little bit different. And make sure you have grid paper underneath your work surface. Otherwise, you're going to have a hot mess. So I'm literally just randomly stamping this all over my 8.5 by 11 sheet of basic whites. And it actually looks beautiful just like that. But we are going to make it even more beautiful. So now I'm going to come in with my Old Olive. We are done with this one, so I'm going to close the ink pad. And I want to bring in the same design, the outline of the leaf. So I'm going to ink this up, and I'm just going to randomly stamp the leaves as well. So it's okay if it goes over and touches, even if it goes over on every single one of them. I'm just going to randomly stamp. And you notice the flower I did all in the same direction, but the leaf is actually really easy to line up, so you can flip the leaf around all over. It actually is already starting to look beautiful. I mean, once you see all of it put together, you guys are going to be so impressed that you just made your own designer series paper. I should be one of the concept artists. Just kidding. Not really. Okay, so I'm just going to do a couple more. There we go. So we are done with that one. And now I'm going to come in with the little tiny flower, and I want to do that one in Bermuda Bay. So I'm stamping the outline in the darkest ink, and then the lighter ink we are going to stamp on the inside. So I'm just randomly filling in spots, and if it hangs over, it's totally okay. Isn't this already starting to look beautiful? I love all of these colors together. Put one up there. Let's put one over here. And that looks pretty good, I think. Okay, so we're done with this color. So now I'm going to bring in those little dots. I don't know what they're called, the little hearts or stars or whatever it is. And I'm going to bring in my Blushing Bride. I didn't want anything to take away the beauty of it, but I really thought it needed something just kind of filling in these little gaps. And since we were using that set for the sentiment, I was like, oh, this is going to be perfect. So I didn't do it on my first go around. And then when, God forbid, I just make one of something, oh no, I've made quite a few of these cards already. I think I've made 16. So I can't just do one of anything, but you see how that's just adding a little bit extra of, actually I don't want to move my paper because I don't want to mess up these flowers. So I just wanted to add a tiny bit of pizzazz, extra pizzazz to the paper. So I'm just randomly stamping. And this is probably the most time consuming part of it, but it will look absolutely stunning when we're done. And once we fill in all of the flowers and leaves, you might want to go back through and just add a few more. Okay, that looks pretty good, I think. Can you guys see how beautiful it is? I hope the video is showing. So let's start with Blushing Bride. And I'm going to bring in my solid image. I'm going to ink this up. And I know I stamped all of them with the little black mark facing up. So now it's going to be easier to line up, hopefully. There it is. Perfect. And watch just the beauty this gives it. So you're going to do this on all the flowers. There we go. We're actually not going to do the whole sheet of this. I will do the rest of it after the live. But I just wanted to show you how to do, there we go. Sometimes you have to move it around a hair. So there's the flowers. Let me bring in the old olive for some of the leaves. And you definitely do want to fill in all of these. I'm just doing a little synopsis of the flowers and leaves and stuff. These ones are actually really easy. So those are super fun to do. Now you can start moving your paper around to get to the right angle of your flowers. So there we go. And then let's do a couple of the Coastal Cabana flowers. And then I will bring in the finished project. I didn't want to take up our entire Facebook Live on stamping. And this one I found, you see that little tiny leaf on the end? It matches perfectly. So if you just line those guys up, it's perfect. So you're going to just come in and fill in all of your flowers and leaves just like that. And let me bring in the final. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? This one that we were just doing will look like that as well once I get done. But I didn't want to take up the whole time stamping it, so I went ahead and pre-did one. But isn't that so fun? And I really do think using the little stars on there makes a huge difference. So there you go. So fun. Now we get to chop it up. That's the best part. Okay, so you're going to grab your paper trimmer and you're going to cut this at 4 inches. So your first cut is going to be 4 inches. So we're going to set this one aside and we're going to cut this one at 4 inches as well. Oops, that was the score, not the cut. There we go. So now we have 2 4-inch by 11 pieces. I can't fit the whole thing in the camera. The first one, we are going to come in and we're going to cut 2 strips at 2.5. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Perfect. So we're going to set these guys aside. And you will have a little bit of leftover. You can use this for something else if you wanted to. And then our last strip, we are going to come in and we're going to cut that down to 2 inches. And then we're going to cut these down to 5 1/4. So there's that. So there's these 2 pieces. And then our last piece, we're going to cut this piece down to 5 1/4. So you definitely could have cut your paper first and then stamped it, but I think it's a little bit easier to stamp on a full sheet and then cut it down. So let's get this out of the way. So now we are left with 4 sheets that measure 2 inches by 5 1/4. And we have 4 that measure 4 inches by 2 1/2. So remember these guys that I told you earlier? So you need 4 of your cardstock. So now these are going to layer on top of your cardstock. And you literally just have you have 1/8 of an inch on all 4 sides. And it doesn't matter which one you put on which color because you used all of the colors in your cardstock. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Oh my goodness, I fell in love with this. Okay, so now we just need to glue those together. And it's the same with these ones as well. So we'll sit and glue some of them together and then we'll create some cards. Maybe I'll just do 1 of each. I think that's a good idea. So let's add a little adhesive to the back. Let's do the Bermuda Bay under this one. And then let's do the Magenta Madness. You can't have a Facebook Live without a pop of pink. So there you go. Hello, Christina. How are you? I just saw that you logged on. Oh, Judy, you're from Australia? How fun. It's your guys' winter there, I think. Is the weather super cool? It was hot here today, but we're in Arizona, so it's always hot. Okay, so the first one, let's do, I really liked doing hold that thought, where did it go? It was literally right here. Let me bring them back in. So these are the ones that I'm flipping through. Let's do this one. Oh, there it is. And then we'll do this guy. Those were probably one of my 2 favorites. So on our longer piece, we're going to add adhesive to the back. I didn't do any dimensionals on these. You totally could if you wanted to, but I just thought it looked absolutely beautiful the way it was. So we're just going to line that up to the top. And then we're going to bring in the Happy Birthday and Friends. And I want to bring in my 2 ink pads again, the Magenta Madness and Blushing Bride. So what I did is I went ahead and stamped the Happy and the Friend first. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to ink up the Happy, and I'm going to come over here to the left and stamp it. There we go. And then I'm going to come over here and do Friend in the same color. There we go. And then I wanted the birthday to be a lighter tone. So I came in with the Blushing Bride, and I'm going to pop this right in the center. This way I knew it wasn't going to be cattywampus on your card. So there you go. Look at how fun and easy that was. So now I'm just going to come in with a few of our diamonds. I used the larger ones for the center flower. Well, there we go. And I used some of the smaller ones for the smaller flowers. There we go. There's that one. And if I couldn't see the entire flower, I didn't put one in the center. So now I'm going to come in and I want to put just a couple right here in the center. Just to give it a little bit of a pop. There we go. Look at how quick and easy these were to put together once you have all of your cards cut and ready to go. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, I don't know which one I like better. Doing them in the blues and the purple or the pinks and the blues. Oh, so cute. So many decisions. Okay, so now let's do the Bermuda Bay. Let me close up these ink pads before I put my arm in it. There we go. So this one, let's do right in the center. And we're going to pull in the Bermuda Bay and Coastal Cabana colors. And I'm not going to be able to do the same stamp. It's the same stamp family, but I'm not going to do the Happy and Birthday because I didn't bring my cleaner over with me. So we are going to use the Swirly Happy Birthday. So let me bring in my ink. Here is the Bermuda Bay. And here's my Coastal Cabana. So we're going to do Happy in Coastal Cabana. And you could definitely, let's play a little bit. Let me make sure I got that inked up. Let's do Happy in the center. And let's do another Happy. Oh, it's not going to work. I was going to say we could do a Happy on both sides. It would work on this side. Oh, let's just play. Let's see if it'll work. Let's see if I can squeeze it in there. Oh, look, I kind of did. So there's Happy. And then we're going to come down here in Bermuda Bay. And we're going to do Birthday right in the center. So these are your cards. You can totally play with them any way you want. And I've created 8 of them. I'll show everybody once I get the rhinestones on here. And this picked up the rest of the cards that we did. And I'll take a picture of them and post them on the Facebook page as well. So this one has lots of little ones on the inside. So this one's going to get lots of rhinestones. Oops, let's grab this one, put it right there. And then let's do a couple big ones off to the side. There you go. So super fun, super cute. Let me show you the original ones that I created. So it's using the same exact stamp set, stamped the same exact way. I just did these ones in Pacific Point, Balmy Blue, Gorgeous Grape, and Highland Heather. That one is super pretty too. You're going to stamp the birthday all the way at the bottom, and then the Happy, you're going to do a ombre look. So, oh, that one's the same way too, just flipped. So you can flip them to either side you want. So yeah, that is your guys' Facebook Live. I know it was a little different because I tried to put all of the cards together, but I knew there was way too many cards to fit in doing this as a live. But I still have 7 other cards that I can put together, and all you have to do is you back them and then put them on your card, and you guys are done. And you could really even use this as kind of like a little flashcard system. You could use any of our stamp sets and have these ready to go for when you need a specific card instead of doing them all Happy Birthday or whatever sentiment you were thinking about. You could have them as a backup and have them blank. So there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's live. I know it was definitely not a normal live where I try to cram all of the cards into one. But I just wanted to give you kind of a idea behind making your own designer series paper so you don't always have to order it. But if you love this stamp set, we used it in card class on Saturday and it was a lot of fun. Definitely get it while Celebration is still here. Otherwise, it will be gone forever. I know it's very sad. But anyway, if you need anything, please feel free to reach out. And I will definitely be back on Tuesday for another live. And I did open up bingo for September 18th, I believe it is. I should have looked at, it is September 18th. I just looked at my calendar. So if anybody is free the evening of September 18th, we are going to be doing a fun bingo Stampin' style. So if you need anything, feel free to reach out. If not, I will talk to everybody on Tuesday. See you later. Bye-bye.